Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. I'm going to give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So let's get into this show. So Bam Adebayo is making a lot of news right now because last night he went on, he was at some kind of basketball camp or something of the sort, right? And he basically he was asked to give his top 5 players of all time. And I want to play the video for you because it's getting a lot of rounds. So take a listen to Bam Adebayo kind of going through his top 5 players. So you saw that there. So it has Bam Adebayo names his top 5: Kobe Bryant, Stephen Curry, Michael Jordan, Kevin Durant, Tim Duncan, no LeBron James, right? And LeBron fans were losing their minds in the comment section, right? Like losing their minds. They were pissed off, crying about it. Oh, how come you didn't name LeBron James and this and this and this and this and this and that? Like, you know, he's lying. He only said that over because LeBron didn't go to Miami. Oh, this is rage bait and all of this and all of that and blah, 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 blah. This was the whole conversation, right? Well, one thing you knew what was going to happen was that Rich Paul and these guys, LeBron's agent, of course, was going to respond to this because I think these guys have made it clear that they're going into media to essentially try to combat and craft the narrative around anything that's said about LeBron. Anything. As long as there's a person that's noteworthy, he's going to come out there and they're going to come out there and try to spin it and get in front of the story immediately. And there was no difference here. So what we want to do is going to play what Rich Paul had to say here in response to Bam Adebayo leaving LeBron off of his top 5 list. And then we're going to come back and continue on the show.
First of all, he has 4 rings, right? However many gold medals and all the records in the NBA. So I don't know what ring chasing does for him in this regard. Like if you're saying he's ring chasing with a negative connotation, there's nothing else. LeBron has had 1, 2, 3, 4. He's had 4 careers in one. Right? So if you just take his first 7 years in Cleveland, he's arguably a Hall of Famer. 7 years, first 7 years.
Sure.
If you take the 4 years in Miami and the 4 years if you just take the 4 years in Miami, he's also a Hall of Famer.
I agree. Although
Okay.
not technically because you need more years, but yeah.
Yeah, but body of work,
yeah.
he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Then if you take the 4 years in Cleveland, he's a Hall of Famer again, right? And if you take the 8 years in L.A., he's also a Hall of Famer because in his 8 years in L.A., he has won championship, went to Western Conference Finals, has some good seasons, whatever, but has the same as many championships as Giannis, as Joker, as Shea, as Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
And spent roughly the same number of years as the best player in the game as them,
Right.
even in L.A.
So I think, you see peers, they have a list and they may leave them off purposely because for whatever reason, and that's just their opinion.
What list?
Top 5, all time, like their all-time list. But everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I do agree with that. Like you can't get mad at somebody for having their opinion.
I disagree.
So,
It should just be whatever I say.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, you talk about top 5 players of all time. If that's
No,
their,
there's no real list that doesn't have LeBron in the top
we
5.
understand that, but it's still their opinion. No problem. But then you get to a whole nother space. So
There's
when you talk
no
about
real list I'm trying to think. Could you possibly put together a list
in no position the
that
top
doesn't
5
have
ever.
LeBron
No.
in the top 3?
No. I don't see it.
I don't not if you want to be taken seriously.
Yeah,
not
I
if
mean,
you
look,
want to be taken.
whatever.
You can't.
That's
like,
why you
could
can't-
say, "Oh, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain," but if you want to be taken seriously, you can't have LeBron not in the top.
But that's
three.
why you can't take it serious, which I don't. The other thing is, I would say in terms of ring chasing. Now, getting back to the ring chasing piece of it.
So you saw it there, right? What are my thoughts about this? At a certain point, like, it just seems to me like these guys are trying to blanket the internet with their own opinions. Like, you cannot have a dissenting opinion. You're not allowed to have it. But they get to sit down and talk about everybody's favorite player from now till the chickens come home. Because we know Rob Pelinka is not going to open up a podcast where he's defending Kobe Bryant. Or Michael Jordan's former agent, I think David Falk, I think his name is, he's not going to start a podcast where he's trying to push back on some of the narratives by Rich. These guys are not going to do that, right? But these particular guys here, they are really, really invested in it because it seems like they want to control the information that's being put out there. So anything that's said by anyone, they're going to go out there and try to combat it immediately. Even in this clip that we played, the full one, is surrounding what Charles Barkley said, right? And is Rich Paul firing back at Charles Barkley for making the comments that he made? Oh, what do you mean by LeBron is trying to ring chase and all of this and all of that? What do you mean by that, right? And one of the things that I've noticed is they're now trying to not redesign, but like they're trying to change how people view what LeBron did. For everybody else, it was a sucker move. But in this case, it was for winning. Well, why didn't we say that when KD was doing it? They're trying to essentially change the way we see it, but it's not going to work. It's only going to work on his fans because they're the only ones that are eating up this nonsense. And God forbid if you have an opinion on this. God forbid you don't like LeBron James, but you talk about, oh my God, you have committed the cardinal sin. Because you're not allowed to talk about LeBron unless you say nice things about him. You're not allowed. Only we're allowed to talk about everybody else and everybody else's favorite players because we're somehow the chosen ones. Like, what the hell is this? Rich Paul is a friend and the agent of LeBron James. He doesn't get to dictate what people feel about basketball or what people feel about his client. This is why I put up the comment, and I want to see if we can show it to you. I put up the comment on my X account. Again, if you guys are not following me on X, my handle is JRTABANSI. And I want to put it up here because it got some decent traction here, okay? And I want to put it up here for you guys. Let's see if you guys can see it here. And I wrote the following. I said, why is Rich Paul advising VJ Edgecombe, who he doesn't represent, what to do with his career? This is what almost led to Austin Reeves' agent running down on him, right? These guys, I really believe that they feel like they're the only ones that should be able to have opinions out here. And I think that the thing that they're hating the most right now is social media, independent media. They want it to be their message and their message alone. And if it's for certain people, they'll go after their channels, slow them down, whatever the case is. They don't want there to be any opinions out there that don't align with theirs. But what social media is saying, no, you don't get to choose. The audience chooses who they like. That's what happens in politics. That's what's happening in sports right now. You don't get to give us our own opinion. We can form our own opinion, and everyone has the right to weigh in on these matters. We're all basketball fans here. We all support the sport. We all talk about the sport. We're all part of the reason why the sport is what it is. The people talk about it, the people that play. It's a symbiotic relationship. But no, not these guys. You're not allowed to have a damn opinion on it at all. And if you do, I'm going to come out here on my platform and basically try to shut you down. Like, it's crazy, but this is how these people are operating like dictators or something. It's unbelievable.